All right, good morning. Welcome to Sunday Morning Yoga Church. The date is March 30th. I don't know why I feel the need to announce the date at each one because I just want to know where I am in time, in place and time right now. So it's March 30th in the year of our Lord 2025. And today's topic, the theme is breathe, move, repeat. And I've designed just a deliberately repetitive, slow flow because there's so much chaos and unpredictability in the air, and that I'm certain, well, I'm not going to speak for you, but it's certainly seeping into my psyche and causing me some angst and causing me to spend a little too much time in the rabbit hole. And a little too much time in my head, and thinking is always my number one problem when it comes to my challenges. So what we know is that repetition is great for building resilience for a number of reasons. But the reason I'm going to pick on today is because it provides our nervous system a sense of grounding, a sense of knowing what's coming next. And that is fantastic for building a sense of control and a sense of predictability, which is important right now. I have a lot of friends who work for the VA, and they are just they're like in a constant state of hyperventilation, anyway, they're having a really tough time, and I feel for them. And so I kind of want to do this practice for them and for anybody else that you might know that is hanging by a thread right now. Maybe that's you, and that's okay. So we're going to start in on our backs, and I've got a blanket, just half of a blanket on my mat, just because I want all the cushion and softness and tenderness that I can get right now. So if you've got a blanket, great, put it on your mat. If not, don't sweat it. But come down onto your back. I want you to have your strap nearby. We're going to start with just a little bit of hip opening in some ways that I'm sure you are familiar with. And then we'll get up and roll through this slow flow that is, there are no wild cards. It's all asanas that you know, and probably in the same rhythm that you know. So when you get down onto your back, I'll have you put your head on the blanket all the way down to your pelvis on the blanket. Your feet can be on the sticky. Bend your knees, please. Set your feet about sitting bone distance apart, and one hand on the belly, one hand on the low ribs. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and do so. And I just want you to drop into your body this morning or this evening, whenever you're watching this. Take a full breath in through your nose, and then just a long sigh of an exhale. And you're welcome to do that another time or two or 10, but just a few, not only breaths of release and relinquishing, but allow yourself the exasperation of an exhale. It's a big sigh, like, what the hell? And at the same time, I want you to become acutely aware of all the parts of you that are in touch with the floor, your feet, hips, low back, maybe ribs, shoulders, arms, elbows, the back of your head. Just allow yourself an opportunity to be embraced by the mat. Good. Great. And then pull your knees to your chest. And for starters, just a little easy. You don't have to go too close. You take them wherever they're comfortable. Explore what's going on in the hips, the flexion of the hip joint, the flexion of the knee joint. If you want to rock or roll or make circles, go for it. Take about, 60 seconds, 45, 60 seconds, just to let your body begin moving, all the while being confident, building confidence that with every breath, every exhale, the next breath is already on the way. And so there's some predictability there for us. Each breath rising on the tail of the out breath. And of course, all y'all know the breath is the most efficient and effective way to tap into our nervous system, whether it's to up or down regulate. What I'm going to have you do now is come into what I call a supine bakasana, supta bakasana. So your knees are to your chest. I want you to take your knees a little wider, take your arms between your knees and bring your feet together, your big toes together. So if you need to look, it'll look something like this. And you can just take your peace fingers around your big toes if you'd like, or take your hands around the outsides of your feet, but your knees are a little wider. And then what I'd ask you to do is squeeze your knees into your arms and kind of push back a little with your arms and observe the engagement of the AD adductors. Notice what else is happening muscularly. Those AD, the adductors, those are the muscles that, keep us on the horse, right? Good. Excellent. Wonderful. Take your left foot to the floor. Here's where the strap comes into play. You'll take the strap around the ball of your right foot. And nothing, no pressure here to perform. We're just going to take the right leg up to the degree that your hips and your low back say, yeah, that feels okay. I can live with this for a few more breaths. So we've been going through the 5 yamas, and today I just want to do a review of the 5, right? So we've got ahimsa, nonviolence; satya, truthfulness; asteya, not taking, not stealing what isn't freely given to us; brahmacharya, being conservative with our energies, all of our energies, sexual energy, but all of our energies. And brahmacharya literally means to roll or to walk with God, which I think should not be overlooked. And then aparigraha, the final 5, giving, not being greedy, not hoarding, not collecting. I'm going to have you very gently take your right leg out to the right. And if you want to take your left leg down to the floor, go for it. I want you to keep your left pelvis, your left hip, left buttock down. And I want to explore, review rather, the yamas through the lens of Nikolai Bachman. I'm going to give you just a few sentences that Sanskrit scholar has gifted us in his book. The ability to cooperate with others is arguably the most important of the 8 limbs of yoga. Its importance is emphasized by its placement at the very beginning of the limbs. Social ethics can be practiced more often than the other limbs. I mean, anytime one person interacts with another, there you go. All other limbs look to the yamas as their foundation. And bring your right leg up. And you can change hands with the strap. We're not going to go into a twist, but what I want you to do is your left hand's got the strap. Now just externally rotate your right leg. Okay, so yeah, good. And then you're just going to bring your right leg about 4 inches to the left, maybe 6 inches to the left. Now, keep the right buttock down and see if there's some sensation happening for you anywhere throughout the right leg, right hip. And he goes on to say social interaction is the best environment in which to ascertain how effective the foundational principles of yoga are. The way we treat others, all creatures, is a testament to our inner state. How good we are at yoga has little to do, in fact, nothing to do with the suppleness of our hamstrings, the strength of our glutes, or the range of motion in our shoulders. Bring your left or your right leg to vertical, please. Good. And we're going to come into a half happy baby. Now you can keep take the strap into your right hand, bend the right knee down towards your armpit, keeping the shin perpendicular to the floor. And you can hold on to the strap, or if you want to take your right hand around the outer edge of the foot, you can do that. But again, no pressure, no, you don't need to push this. No, don't force this. And this concept of the yamas being the most important fundamental aspect of our practice and a way in which we can determine how we're doing in our practice. But I think I think it's incredibly valuable dropping back into these fundamentals, these foundations. So, okie dokie, pull your right knee to your chest, bring your left knee to meet. And let's just pause with knees to chest for a moment. You can keep knees to chest, or you can come into that supine bakasana again if you'd like, taking your knees a little wider and bringing your arms to the inside of your legs, activating your adductors. I'm going to give you all, options throughout the practice today, and you do you. Great. Let's go into the other leg. So keep the left knee into your chest, set your right foot down, and bring the strap around the ball of your left foot. And as you feel ready, take your left leg up. Yoga is a practice of the mind more so than the body. And I think Mr. Bachman expresses that well in those few sentences. The degree of success in our practice isn't what's happening on the mat, but it's what's happening out there, outside of our safety zone, in the chaos and the unpredictability, the madness, as Marlon Brando says in Apocalypse Now, the horror. Take the strap in your left hand. You're going to take your left leg out to the left. I mean, it's not funny, so pardon my chuckling. If you want to take your right leg down, go for it. Good. And explore how this side is different, if it's different. Good. We're rising up, and we'll change hands with the strap. Externally rotate the left leg, and then just bring it a couple of inches to the midline, maybe across the midline, so long as you can keep the left hip down, shearing energetically the outer left hip down towards the mat. Your jaw doing okay? Maybe you can separate your bottom teeth from your top teeth and toggle your mandible from side to side. Good. Releasing any tension that might be secretly setting up shop in the TMJ, or maybe not so secretly. And bring your left leg to vertical once more. And then we're going to come into half happy baby pose, Ardha Ananda Balasana. So the knee bends down in the direction of your left armpit. You want to try to keep a 90-degree angle in the knee. I mean, I'm not going to micromanage that, but hand can stay on the strap to give you access to that, or you can bring your hand to the outside of the left foot. And I'm just going to stay for a few breaths, diving into the hip joint so we're ready for the standing flow to come. Great. So let your left knee bend, ditch the strap, and bring your right knee in to meet the left one last time. And same rules apply. You just hold the knees in close if you want, just like be a little C, just hug your body with warmth and tenderness, or go into the supine bakasana, taking the knees a little wider, bringing your arms to the inside so you can activate the inner thighs. Find that resistance. I love that word, resistance, right now. So find that resistance between pressing in with the legs and pushing against with the arms. That can often feel pretty good through the sacrum, the SI joints, and the low back. But you know, what's good for one is not good for the other. So you assess how it feels in your body. Let's take 2 more breaths. As the legs are active, relax the neck and the throat. Beautiful. And release your feet down to the floor. Take your arms up overhead. Give yourself a big stretch. Knees can stay bent or you can stretch your legs either way. Just a full breath in. Oh, arch the low back slightly away from the floor. Good. And then as you exhale, arms come down by your sides. I want you to roll to one side and help yourself up. We're going to move the blanket off to the side. In fact, why don't you go ahead and roll the blanket? That way we're ready for next steps. Actually, we're ready for Shavasana. I'm ready for Shavasana. You ready? Can we just go into Shavasana? Okay, no. If you want to go into Shavasana, you can just fast forward for about 25 minutes and then we'll be in Shavasana. So if you have 2 blocks, I'm going to have you place your 2 blocks on their tallest height, maybe just about an inch or 2 inches apart from one another. And we're going to come into a seated malasana. All right. So very gingerly, step forward, facing the top of your mat. Come on down. Good. And let both of your sit bones anchor onto the blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, you can use one and just turn it. And maybe that'll support your sit bones. And if it doesn't, then don't sweat it. Just come down into a comfortable seated shape or sit in a chair. Okay? No pressure. Good. So I want you to take your feet about as wide, at least as wide as your mat. Heels on the mat, but turn your toes out. So yeah, Malasana, right? Good. And just hands to your knees for now. I want you to lengthen the spine up. See if you can find that plumb line, ears, shoulders, and hips. Good. We're going to come into a forward bend very slowly. I want you to bring your fingertips to the floor. Good. And then have your hands as wide as they need to be so that your inner knees, inner legs can press into your elbows, upper arms. Okay, so here we go with a gentle flow. You're going to inhale, take your right arm out to the side, reach it back behind you, so a little bit of a twist. Sweep it up overhead, so now we're into a side bend, and circle it down to the floor. Exhale. And left side, sweep your left arm back, a little bit of a twist to the left. Lift the arm up over your ear, side bending, and then circle down to the floor. So that's the flow. I want you to do that just a few more times. Oh, Yeah, no rush. Where the arm is making contact with the leg, let's find muscle activation. And that means the leg that's free. That needs to have muscle activation as well, with muscle memory without the arm. Ooh. Good. How about one more time from side to side? But no rush. I want you, hopefully, if this feels good, I want you to really savor it, enjoy it, go slow. Oh, spine getting mobile, ribs getting a little attention. Mm, 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 mm. Oh. When you do finish up that last round, walk your hands forward if it's comfortable for you, coming into a little bit of a deeper forward bend. And at this point, if you want, if it works for your body, you can heel toe your feet a little closer so that your knees press into your shoulders. Don't worry, we're not going into Bakasana today. Crow pose. That is not on the menu. I mean, of course, if you wanted, go for it, but that is not on the menu. So a little something that I'm doing is I'm taking the outer edges of my mat, wrapping my hands around the outer edges of my mat, and I'm pulling the mat away from my feet. At the same time, I'm squeezing my knees into the shoulders. I'm finding that being, I like that on my low back, but that might not be for everybody. So, you know the drill. If you don't like it, change it. Good. Squeeze the shoulders. More important to activate the inner thighs than it is to put your hands in any particular place. Walk your hands back towards your feet, please. Hands to your knees. Holding onto your knees as you breathe in. Give yourself a little cow of the cat-cow, arching your back. Oh. And then bringing yourself into a neutral spine as you exhale. So here we're coming into downward facing dog, right? You can bring hands to the floor. You can kind of pitch yourself forward. Yes, you're coming almost into Uttanasana, but the knees are deeply bent so that you can move your blocks to the side. Bring one to each side of the top of your mat. And then walk 1 foot at a time back. Ooh, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Great. Let some blood flow through the back of the legs, especially the back of the knees. Breathing in, breathing out. Woo. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe bend one knee, straighten the other leg a little more. Change sides. If it feels good, maybe take your hips from side to side. Pull yourself forward to staff as you inhale. You're going to move back to dog pose as you exhale. Do that twice more at your pace. Getting the shoulders a little more warmed up. Forward on the in-breath. And back to dog pose on the out-breath. And then one more time. So a total of... Hi, Kathy.
Hi,
I'm
how are
glad you
you?
made it. I'm glad you
Yeah,
made
me
it.
too. Me too.
Good. Good.
I looked up and it's time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you're just in time. We're walking to the top of the mat. We've done our warm up. Good.
Okay.
Taking one foot at a time to the top of the sticky mat. I'm going to get you muted now, okay, Kathy?
Okay.
Okay, good. And we come all the way up to the top of the mat. Find Uttanasana. Take your feet a little wide, maybe a little wider than your hips. Knees are soft. And then slowly, over the course of a long breath in, roll yourself up to standing, coming into Tadasana. Good, great, perfect. So we're going to roll through this deliberately repetitive flow. And I'll tell you what it is. We're going to start with side angle pose, pull ourselves up to warrior two, reverse the warrior, and then go back into side angle pose. And then sweep the top arm down and do it over on the other side. So it's just going to be those four poses in that sequence. If you want to have a block to the for your hand in side angle pose or put your elbow on a knee, that's fine. But each move gets a breath. We're going to move into the pose on the inhale, settle into it for the exhale. Move into the next pose on the inhale, settle on the exhale, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. And here's the other part. So thinking about the yamas, right? The 5 yamas, each set of this flow, we're going to put into our minds how we can live this yama through conversation. Because I think that's we can apply all 5 of them to conversation, right? So ahimsa, I'm doing this sequence, making an intention to be nonviolent in my words this week. Okay, next sequence. I'm doing this with the intention to be truthful in my words and my conversations this week and my interactions with others, right? Because that's what this whole thing is about. That's what yoga is all about, right? Okay, so here we go. Tadasana first. Breathing in, sweep arms forward and up. And you're going to sweep your arms out to the sides. Arms come down to your sides. Draw the tips of your shoulder blades towards your spine. So a really broad chest Tadasana. Chair pose, breathing in, bring your hands to the heart. And fingertips to the floor, breathing out. You can straighten the legs to the degree that feels good for you. As you inhale, look forward. Step your right foot back, heel down as you exhale. Left arm in front of the left knee. Inhale, right arm comes up, side angle pose. Exhale, stay put. Breathing in, warrior two. So you're gonna really push into that left heel to lift yourself up. Reverse your warrior. I'm going to be nonviolent in my communication with others this week. And then we're going to inhale back to side angle pose. Remember, elbow can be to knee, or fingertips to floor, or hand to a block. Breathing in, sweep your right arm over your right ear. Oh, and then keep going until your right fingertips come to the floor. Come onto the ball of your back foot. Breathe in and look forward. Exhale and step forward. Roll yourself up. If you want to come up with a flat back, that's fine. We'll all meet in Tadasana on the exhale. Good. That's it. It's just that simple. Here we go. Round 2. Satya. Inhaling, arms forward and up. I'm going to be truthful in my communication with others. Angel wings, arms down to the sides. Exhale. Like snow angels. Good. Share on the in breath, hands to heart. This is my intention. It's my prayer. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Legs go just as straight as they want to go. Lifting up halfway as you inhale, pulling your heart forward away from your thighs. And exhale, bowing down. Take your left foot back, spin the left heel down. Right elbow to the knee or right fingertips to the floor inside the right leg. Push into the right heel. Left arm comes up as you inhale, warrior two. Exhale, stay put. Breathing in, reverse your warrior. You stay here for the exhale. Inhale, side angle pose again. We'll stay for the exhale. I am going to be truthful and honest. Breathing in, sweep the left arm over your left ear. Find that good stretch for just a beat. And then fingertips to the floor. Come onto the ball of your back foot. Breathe in and look forward. Step forward, exhale. Let yourself enjoy this forward bend for an extra beat. And then pull yourself up into Tadasana, coming up in whatever way serves your body this morning. Good. Moving into Asteya. How can we apply Asteya into our conversation? We cannot take someone's dignity. We cannot take someone's respect. We cannot take credit for something that we didn't come up with, that somebody else said. Let's inhale, arms up. I'm going to practice Asteya in my communication this week. Exhale, snow angel arms out to the side. So good broad-chested Tadasana. Hands to the heart, inhale, chair pose. Fingertips to the floor, exhale. Straightening the legs. Come halfway up as you breathe in. Hands can glide up to the shins. You can keep fingertips to the floor. And exhale, fold forward, bring your right foot back, spin the right heel down. Good. Right arm floats up. Side angle pose. And then push into your left heel. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Powerful breath-centered flow. Reverse your warrior, inhale. So happy we warmed up the hips. Good, and return to warrior two. Or no, side angle pose, I'm sorry. Move down to side angle pose. Good. Good, and on the next breath, you reach that right arm over your right ear. Dig into your outer right heel. Oh, that's a great stretch. And then right fingertips to the floor, left fingertips to the floor. Spin to the ball of your back foot. Look forward. I will not take from others in my conversation this week, and step forward. Good. Make your journey to Tadasana in whatever way that is for you this week. Beautiful. Next up, Brahmacharya. How am I going to practice Brahmacharya in my conversations with others this week? I'm going to watch my energy. I'm going to be a good steward of my energy. I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to look up the Buddhist definition of right speech, and I'm going to see how I can apply it. Let's inhale, arms up. Snow angel arms out to the sides. Good. Standing tall. Hands to the heart, chair pose, inhale. Fingertips to the floor as you straighten the legs, exhale, Uttanasana. Rising up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, inhaling. And exhale, left foot back. Heel comes down, right fingertips to the floor. Inhale, left arm up. Starting in side angle pose. Press into the right heel. Inhale, warrior two. Good. Settle into the hips as you exhale. Settle into the strength of the pose. Reverse your warrior, inhale. Right arm up, being grateful. Next breath in, move into side angle pose. Elbow to knee or fingertips towards the floor. Enjoy the exhale. And then left arm reaches over the left ear. Nice side bend. And then exhaling, hands to the floor. Come onto the ball of your back foot. Look ahead as you breathe in. And step forward as you breathe out. Good. Two more to go. Find your way to Tadasana, taking whatever path feels good. A parigraha. Here we go. Arms come forward and up. I'm going to hand the floor over to others. I'm not going to be greedy. Circle the arms out to the sides as you exhale. Chair pose, inhale. I'm not going to interrupt people. I'm going to try not to interrupt people. Fingertips to the floor, exhale. Come halfway up as you breathe in. Exhale, fold forward, right foot back, right heel down. Left elbow to knee or fingertips to the floor. Inhale, right arm up, side angle pose. Good. Settle into the exhale. Be strong in the legs. Inhale, pull yourself up, warrior two. Good. Reverse your warrior. Good. And then side angle pose. I'm going to make it a point to really listen when I'm in conversation this week and not grasp, not be greedy, not hoard. It's hard for an extrovert. Ooh. And then reach your right arm over your ear. Good. And then hands to the floor. Spin onto the ball of your back foot. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, step forward. Last one on the left side. So that was it. We kicked off all five. Make your way to Tadasana. All five of the yamas. Good. Last round on the left. I'm going to cooperate this week with others. Arms up as you breathe in as best I can. Circle out to the sides as you exhale. Chair pose on the in-breath, hands to your heart. This is a real meditative, deliberate practice, intentional practice. And then hands to the floor, exhale. Coming up halfway on the in-breath. Bowing down on the exhale, take the left foot back. This last round is all about tenderness and strength. Side angle pose, being tender with yourself. Pull yourself up into warrior two. Embody the strength physically, mentally, emotionally. Reverse your warrior, moving with breath. And then side angle pose, last one. Good. Left arm up. And then on the inhale, left arm reaches over the left ear. Oh, good. And then circle your left arm down, hands to the floor. Come onto the ball of your back foot. So from here, we're going to go to downward dog. But first, on the ball of your back foot, inhale and look forward so you can enjoy that little lunge for a moment. And then exhale, step back to downward dog. Very nice. We have to be tender with ourselves in these times. If you want to drop into child's pose and practice tenderness in that way, please do. And take just a couple of breaths, gathering our prana, letting our body embody the physical practice, letting our heart and spirit and mind embody the ethical practice that is the foundation of yoga. Good. And then wherever you are, bring yourself forward and come down to your belly. We're just going to take 3 gentle back bends. I want you to bring your arms down by your sides, palms down. We're going to do Shalabhasana 3 times. The first one, I want you to stay pretty low, like barely lift up on the in-breath. Just a little back body activation, and exhale, let yourself sink to the floor. Second round, you might come up a little higher, breathing in, feet up, knees up, head and chest. And on the exhale, sink to the floor. Good. Last one. Inhale. Take the height that feels good for you. No one's monitoring. Remember, your progress on the path of yoga has nothing to do with your physical prowess. Exhale, sink to the floor, but everything to do with how we interact with the world around us, how we implement these yamas. I'm going to be nonviolent with myself. I'm going to be honest with myself this week. I'm going to be honest with myself about my ability today. I'm going to conserve my energy. Be a good steward of my prana. Bring your hands under your shoulders, lift up onto your hands and your knees. And then I'd like to come into Virasana if that works, that flexion works for your knees. You can put a block. I always like to have a block under my bum. And this is where two blocks will come in handy. If you've got that second block, put it behind you on its whatever height you have under your bum. I'm on the low, but you can come to the second, or you can skip this and just be in a position otherwise that works for you. So whatever height your block is on, if you're in Virasana, put the block behind you on that same level. Good. We're going to come into an open twist. What I want you to do is free your right foot and bring it to the floor. So your toes are lined up with your left knee. We're going to bring the right arm to the inside of the right leg. So here we are with that adductor activation again. And then on the in breath, sweep your left arm out to the side and start to roll back with the left arm, turning to the left. And then the left fingertips can find the floor. So when you're on a block, when I'm on a block, the floor is far away from me. So that's why the second block comes in handy. You can use a book. You can use, your blanket. Anything goes. Good. Now to make some connection, we can keep the palm open, the right palm open, but to make some connection, if it's available to you, you might take your peace fingers around your right big toe. That's not mandatory. It's just something that I kind of played around with this morning. But big focus is activating the inner thigh muscles of the right leg and giving yourself this open twist, twisting away from the knee. Makes it an open twist. Turn your head and look towards the front of your mat. Make sure you're settled on both sitting bones evenly. Beautiful. Release your big toe if you've got it. And you can relax your right leg and right arm, and then sweep your left arm forward. Whew, good. So to do the other side, we're going to bring the right knee back into Virasana, right leg. You're going to free the left foot forward. Here we go. Left arm comes to the inside of the left leg. Right arm on an inhale, sweeps back. Ooh, great. And then right fingertips can find the floor or whatever is showing up as the floor. For me, it's a block. Good. And then grabbing the left big toe, I mean, there could be like proportion differences, right? Maybe the arms, I have lanky pterodactyl arms. So it comes to me, but that's not always, I don't know, pterodactyl arms. I don't know. Maybe not the most glamorous. Good. Look to the top of your sticky mat. Activating left inner thighs. Gently churning the belly to the right. And let's bring a little attention into the right shoulder. So maybe externally rotate that right arm if you can. Draw the tip of that right shoulder blade in the direction of your spine. Couple more breaths. Root down through the left big toe. I'm sorry, I'm micromanaging. It's my nature. God, so bossy. I gotta work on that. All right, soften up your left side. leg and arm, and then bring your right arm forward, and then arms down. Returning to Virasana. Okay, you're gonna bring your right hand up in front of your nose, set the pad of your right thumb and the pad of your ring finger to the bridge of your nose. Take a breath in and seal the right nostril, exhale left. Inhale left. And exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. I'm going to guide you through one more, then I'll let you on your own for a few rounds. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Okay, you're on your own. 3 more rounds. I know the brain and nervous system like to know what's coming. So 3 more rounds. How's your jaw doing? Relax your tongue at the floor of your mouth. And you'll finish with an exhale from your left nostril, but do not rush. We have a ton of time. Just sitting for a moment. Eyes closed or looking down the bridge of your nose. Tenderness and strength. I think the tenderness actually is more important, but we need them both. We're going to come into Shavasana. I invite you to move as little as possible. And you've got a blanket already rolled up. Put the blanket underneath your knees and bring yourself onto the floor. We know that resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to adapt to change, and maintain well-being despite challenges. It involves developing coping mechanisms and emotional regulation skills. And this type of repetitive movement can build, can serve to build a sense of being grounded. We often need that sense of control and predictability, particularly in times of great uncertainty and stress. And welcome yourself to the mat. Allow yourself to be embraced by the security and safety of your mat, your floor, and the space around you. Start to deepen your breath. Moving your fingers and your toes. And being tender with yourself as you bend your knees and make your way up to sitting. And recognizing the powerful use of all five yamas that can be found in the way we communicate with others, how we cooperate or not with others, and using these five yamas as a guide as we move into the week ahead. Let's bring the palms together. Place the base of your thumbs to your forehead. Tenderness and strength in our minds. Fingertips down to the lips. May we be both tender yet strong in our speech. And then bring hands to heart. May we be tender with our bodies, and more importantly, tender with our spirits and our nervous systems. Thank you. Yay. Thanks everybody for joining me.